Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about how I deal with the times when I'm missing life before IIH. So before I get into any more details, time for the intro. Back in 2018, I was diagnosed with IIH. IIH is short for idiopathic intracranial hypertension. In short, in IIH, there's an increased intracranial pressure without a known cause. IIH is known by two older names, pseudotumor cerebri and benign intracranial hypertension. Living with IIH is very hard to explain to others, as it can be hard to tell when I'm not feeling well. My hope is that through these videos we can learn together and help make relationships better through a better understanding. I also hope to provide people living with IIH a community so they never feel like they are alone with this condition. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell down below so that you get updated about further videos. I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. The times that this particularly happens is during a really bad day with a significant amount of symptoms to the point where I'm getting very emotional and very frustrated. I'm gonna just explain what happens. And so what often will happen is I go downstairs at 7:30 at night because I am exhausted and I am in a lot of pain, and I'll just burst into tears and start crying for no reason whatsoever, and just my brain will flash back to the point of before I had IIH, and just the fact that I miss so much about before I had this condition and before I dealt with migraines. And it's just like, I remember talking with people in school about migraines, and I really honestly had no idea. I just thought they were a really bad headache. The only thing I thought of is, oh, that must really not be fun. But I really didn't understand everything that went involved with it. Like, I didn't understand how you could miss an exam or how you could miss a bunch of classes because of having a headache. Like, it didn't even occur to me until I started experiencing myself. And now that I have migraines that are quite debilitating, having these flashbacks to the point where I had IIH, or wishing that I could go back to the point before I was sick, is something that does happen. Now, this is one of the reasons why I want people to be okay with me being emotional, and why I don't like the word warrior and all that, because when I have that particular mindset, as I said in that video, I feel like it's not okay for me to be flashing back. And to be honest with you, I am catching myself now, because it's just like, no, live in the moment. Appreciate right now. Don't focus on what was in the past. The past is the past. However, I feel like constantly doing this is just setting up for me to let it bubble and bubble and bubble, and eventually the volcano is going to explode. So when this happens, where I get these emotional periods, I will just be alone and cry and cry and cry and let it out, and eventually this just it gets better. It's almost like a therapy session for me. But these moments are extremely hard to experience when I am going through them, because it's a lot of emotions coming out at once. Also, I can feel the emotions start to bubble, and I pick up on them very fast now. Since I do pick up on the emotions so fast, I do try to fight the emotions at the start. And it's often when I'm, again, having trouble with symptoms, so there's not really much under my control. The way I deal with this is I just let it out. And the thing is I never feel like it's safe for me to do this in front of others, because I feel like if I do this in front of others that I'm showing weakness. So I want my family to really understand this part, so that if they ever see me with tears in my eyes for some reason, that this could be possibly what's going on, and to always ask and make sure that everything's okay. If I am having trouble with this particular part, please just let me have these emotional periods, because with meditation, it kind of can let everything really settle down to the bottom, and then all the emotions will come out at once. I've actually found myself with a little bit more anger than I used to, a little bit more frustration, easier, and it feels like the frustration now just it it's like a volcano when it explodes, and then from there it'll settle down for a while, and then again it'll be kind of quick when it comes out, and it'll stay down for like these in between these periods of emotion. It'll be quite calm, but I find that my emotional periods are quite emotional now. With the meditation, please don't expect me to hold in these emotions, because I'm not probably going to win in this case. And number two, I've been holding in these emotions probably for a while, so you just need to let me let them out. It's nothing personal against you. It's the fact that these can come out at really awkward times and often not convenient times. Like I said, I do try and put myself into my own bubble when these do happen, because I don't like being that way in front of others. Like I said, they're common during a really, really bad day with symptoms. And I think it's just because there's a lot of frustration when it comes to this part of living with both IIH and migraines, actually. Like, the fact that I feel like I've done everything and I'm doing absolutely everything I can, and sometimes it's still not enough, is extremely difficult to process, and to know that this isn't all in my control. That's another thing that I really, really struggle with, actually, is the fact that this all isn't in my control. I've lost a lot of weight. Like I said in the previous video on guilt, I sometimes wonder if I have these really emotional periods also happen because of the connection between IIH and weight. I often wonder during these flashbacks if I would be in this position if I had always been at the appropriate weight. I do as much as I can to stick to my lifestyle changes. I try and eat as healthy as I can. I try to get in workouts at least 3 times a week. I like there's only so much a person can do, and then the rest of it is just beyond your control. And that's where I kind of have the trouble, is the fact that I'm not going to always have control over the situation, especially when it comes to this condition. Like, there is so many things that are unknown about IIH. There's a lot of things actually that are unknown about migraines, considering they're actually fairly common. Most of this is a result of frustration and the fact that I'm doing everything that I can think of and I still am having symptoms, and realizing, or maybe not so much realizing, that this just isn't in my control is a very difficult thing to deal with. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye, everyone.